Good morning, afternoon or evening, wherever you might be in this wonderful world. In part one, we took a ride down to the Dorset coast to St Catherine's Chapel near Abbotsbury to explore whether or not you can get a great shot of an iconic landmark location when you're stood right next to it. We got a couple that kind of worked okay, including a little bit of movement blur in the clouds. Here in part two, we're going to go and explore that same possibility, but from further away, because I don't think you can get a great shot of the landscape when you're already in it. Before we do that, I would just like to ask you to please like this video, maybe subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. By liking the video, you're going to tell YouTube it's a good video and it will show it to more people. I would also like to invite you to come and shoot some amazing iconic locations with me. Come and click the link up here in the top right of your screen. Come and check out my workshops, and if you'd like to see a whole bunch of images from my workshops, there is a link to my portfolio in the description of this video. Go and have a look. There's loads of pictures down there. Anyway, without further ado, let's go pick up where we left off last time.
It was quite chilly when I set off this morning, but look at this, got a new pair of Eska gloves, E-S-K-A, and despite having heated handlebar grips, I never had to switch them on. These things are just magic. A bit like this road really. Look at this, you've got to come and ride some of these roads with me. It is phenomenally gorgeous out here. So let's have a look. Where do we want to look back? I think there is a parking bay up the hill a bit. We'll stop there and have a look back and figure out where we need to go from there. Let's see. That's not bad, is it? I'll try and zoom in on the little GoPro and see, but look at how the light is hitting the side of the chapel from up here. And we got Chesil Beach and the ocean in the background. I think it looks really rather lovely. But I'm sure there must be a better spot. I'm wondering if we can get up there, because I think that ridge is just that bit higher. We'd be looking down some more, but it's not bad from here, is it? I'm going to go and have a little look up there and see what it looks like. See if we can find a way in. Make sure it's not, you know, private land or something. Don't go hiking around on people's property. Is there a way to walk up there? That looks like there might have been a path there. This is what I mean by you mustn't be lazy. Look around. Find different ways. Where does that go? No, there's a little lane here. This is of course all part of the fun of doing this, exploring. There's a little lane here. Where does it go? Where does it lead? What's up here? We're going to find out in a minute. Oh, footpath, parking area. That is a footpath and it takes us over there. I think we are in just the right place. Something to be careful of on these windy days. Look, you see how that little strap is blowing around? That is enough to move the camera. That's what I was worried about before when we were down there on the hillside. So something to watch is always to hang on to it. Now from here, in this light, it isn't too much of a problem, simply because we've got quite a lot of light. I'm shooting at f9 and I've still got a 1,250th of a second. Do I need to worry about which aperture from up here? Think on that for a moment. Well, no, because I can't blur the background, because that is what, a mile and a half away? I don't know. But it's certainly well beyond the infinity point of this lens, and therefore it doesn't really matter where you focus or what aperture you use, it's still going to be sharp. I'm using f9, it's a good aperture. Lenses like middle apertures, and I'm just using the shutter speed for exposure. The ISO is as low as I can go, which in this case on this camera is 200. Now the light is changing a bit and there is quite a bit of haze in the air, as you can see.
But doesn't that look great? I think it looks far more interesting from back here because we're able to say a little bit more about where this place is, and because the light is just hitting it nicely pretty much right now, and that pool of shade on the trees, I think it looks really great. It's going to be all blurry if I try and put my finger in here, but I can't even see. I can't. There we go. There's this little forest pool of shade there where the blur of my finger is. Now, what I don't want is that chapel to go into complete shade, which of course it was just starting to do, but it's changed again. Look how quickly this light is changing. The clouds are moving across the sky. So let's shoot that. I love it, I love it, I love it. Look how small, how tiny it is down there on the hillside. I love it, I love it. I just think it looks so much better from up here. Now, the other thing we're going to do, I'm going to turn the camera up the other way because I think it will work quite well like that. Let's see. It's a bit of a fiddly old tripod, this. Oh, I like that. I like that. Let's get the camera level. If you have a level in your viewfinder, use it, because there's nothing worse than trying to figure out if the horizon is level or not just with your eye, because it's full of optical illusions, you know, the way that bay is sweeping off into the distance. So let's look in here. I think that looks nice. I love this little bright highlight in the foreground, and then we got that shade in the valley, and then it sort of brightens up again on St. Catherine's Chapel. Fun fact, by the way, Catherine Wheel fireworks, they're named after St. Catherine. She was, I believe, tortured by the Romans on a wheel covered in knives. The story, I believe, goes that angels came down and rescued her, carried her off up to heaven. But the name Catherine Wheel for the firework, that is where it got its name from, St. Catherine. So we've got some, we've got some weather coming in. Oh my word, there's a rainstorm coming in down there. I can see it coming right at me across the sea. Now this could make for some pretty cool shots. I am so glad I have got my bearing motorcycle gear on, because trust me, it is so much better than just ordinary outdoor gear. Think about it for a moment. A motorcycle going into a rainstorm like that is like being blasted with a hose pipe at 60 miles an hour. That really is coming right at me. The light, I'm just going to quickly take this shot because the light has changed on the chapel. Look, if we compare that with the previous one, look at the difference. Look at the difference. That's why you have got to be patient. I'm really not looking forward to this, even though I'm going to be nice and dry. I don't think it's going to last long because there are some blue holes in the sky beyond it. Been up here a while now, watching the light change and chatting to our friend photographer Paul here. So we must have been up here, how long have we been up here? It's getting on for an hour. Yeah, at least an hour. And the light has really, really moved and changed. Look at that. Doesn't that just look gorgeous? Those long shadows sneaking out across the land. Now, what would be really great would be if the right side of the chapel had a bit of cloud on that, so that side was a little darker as well. We want a bit of a shadow coming up the side of the hill. Whether we'll get one or not, I'm not entirely sure. I've taken a few shots whilst we've been going on. Go and have a look at my portfolio. You will see some more of the shots I've taken up here. I don't want to extend this video with them, but let's just shoot this one because it does look really rather lovely as it is. I've got the focal length sneaked in just a little longer. That does look nice. Doesn't that look nice? But what would be really great is if that band of dark cloud was just lower in the sky. If that was just touching the top, I think that would look really great. Let's shoot another one. I'm just going to handhold for the sake of speed in composing pictures. Let's shoot another one. I love this. Look, we've got a lone cow down in the field. I'm going to put them both right
up through the middle, and the cow lifted its head up just as I took that shot. Luckiest man in the world. I do rather like that. I'm going to hang on a bit longer. That's why we always say you've got to be patient. You've got to take your time. Paul, have we got to be patient and take our time?
It's like fishing.
It's like yes,
Absolutely. And I hate fishing, but I've learned to be patient.
yeah,
now.
yeah.
It's all about, isn't it about the 3 Ps? Patience, planning, and I can't remember the third
Something
P.
like that, yeah, yeah. Perfect planning prevents piss poor performance or something, isn't it? Yeah, you're
That's it,
absolutely
yeah.
right. It's
Well,
patience.
it is like fishing,
and watching and waiting.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is just so beautiful out there.
isn't it?
Yeah, I'm going to stay here a little bit longer. I'll come back to you in a little while. The sun has now come down underneath those clouds as I was hoping, but there is so much haze in the air that it isn't lighting up the chapel, which is such a shame. I think you'll be all right just there. Let's put you there. It's just dead. It really is not wide awake at all. Just take that shot just for reference purposes and just compare it to when we had a little bit more light hitting the chapel. I'm just going to brighten that up just a touch, because see if that helps. No, it makes it worse if anything. It just looks flat and really, really dead, doesn't it? So let's just quickly take a shot over there. Change the exposure, because that is a really rather lovely piece of sky going on over there. Hey ho, there we go. If you don't go, you don't know. Isn't that right, Paul?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's like prospecting for oil. You have to do some digging.
Fishing, prospecting for oil. We're fishing for photos. It's been a pleasure to meet you, mate.
Nice to meet you too, man.
Pleasure.
Yeah.
So, I hope you enjoyed that little video. I am going to hop on my bike and start heading back towards home. If you're confused by any of the things we've talked about with your camera settings, then go and have a look at my online masterclass in photography. There is a link up there. There is also one down below. And in a moment, there's going to be a little square pop up next to me. Now, when that pops up, go and have a look at that, because if you love motorcycles and you love capturing great pictures of all the amazing places you go, click this little square. Come and have a look, because I've got some beauts lined up for you. Be well, take care, and I look forward to seeing you next time.